Hey everyone, and welcome to our Q&A presented by Just Love. My name is Paula Jane and I'm talking to Judy Carroll. Judy is an internationally known author and now has 5 books in the Zeta series. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
And so the new year, 2023, has arrived and it's a 7 year. And in numerology, 7 is associated with spiritual awakening, intuition, inner wisdom, independence, and self-awareness. The general consensus is that 2023 is going to be a year of disclosure across many areas. So with this in mind, Judy is going to share with us some of her symbolic experiences that have occurred at each 7-year period in her life and why she feels that 2023 will be meaningful.
Okay, Paula, significant events that occurred in my 7 years. To begin with age 7, my parents weren't happy with the state school I was attending, and I hated it, so they transferred me to a convent school. This was much better all around, and I can now see upstairs working behind the scenes. My ET work down here involves the spiritual side of things, comparing and aligning earth plane religion with cosmic spirituality. So I needed to gain a deep understanding of religion down here. The nuns also taught me the value of meditation and prayer. As one of the grey teachers told me, prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening.
Yes, prayer is talking and meditation is listening.
Definitely. And this is why it's so weird how some fundamentalist religions claim that meditation is sinful. I recall once trying to hire a church hall to teach Tai Chi, which is a form of meditation, and was abruptly told this would not be possible because it is a type of meditation. Another reverend gentleman I phoned about a hall, I think around the same time, swore at me, calling me an evil bitch and hung up on me. My question is, how can giving God time and space to connect be sinful? Anyway, we live and learn, hey. At age 14, I travelled on my own to New Guinea to attend and be bridesmaid for my brother's wedding. My parents couldn't go but wanted our family to be part of it. They commented afterwards about the maturing effect that this trip had on me. It helped me to become more independent. So yes, the independent thing at year 7 certainly applies. Age 21, our family moved from a not very nice, almost inner city rental apartment to a much nicer house that they were able to buy through my dad's war service pension. Mum and Dad had been under serious financial stress for a long time from a failed business, but things improved greatly with that move. At age 28, I was married by then and living in an older Queensland-style house on acreage. At age 28, we bought another block of land and had a house built on it, so a fresh start in a better location again. I think, too, that was the age I had my owl experience on our first property before we moved. And this involved an owl that haunted me for 3 days and ended up flying in under our house where I was sitting reading a book and perching directly above my head on a rafter. It sure did give me a fright, but I now realise this was a significant ET contact experience.
Yeah.
Age 35. By then, I'd had the major contact experience at age 30 that I've spoken about, in which my ET family appeared in the middle of an afternoon, advising me to train in Tai Chi, meditation, and a natural healing method that turned out to be Reiki. They told me I'd be moving back to the city, as that was where my work lay, teaching these modalities. I hardly even knew what Tai Chi was, let alone teaching it, and Reiki was unheard of here back then. They didn't use the term Reiki, they just explained that I needed to learn about healing with energy. They described Tai Chi to me as being like yoga, only more dance-like. I was told that intense training would be involved as I needed to learn more about life force energy, both for myself and also to teach others. I now understand that this is all part of the ascension process for humanity and that I was to play a part as a small cog in a very big mission. At age 35, I began teaching Tai Chi.
Yes, you were definitely working with energy before most.
Yeah, the thing is, back in the early 1980s, here in Australia, such things were not common knowledge, at least in my family. At the same time, right from very early childhood, I was aware of things outside of 3D, so when I was finally able to make this connection, it was a huge relief for me. I had been starting to think I was crazy, but much more was to follow. At age 42, I travelled to the UK and visited the sacred site known as the Rollright Stones in Oxfordshire. I was taken back there 3 weeks later in astral form and underwent a procedure done by the ETs in which a long needle with a crystal on the end was inserted painfully into my third eye chakra point. This was an acupuncture procedure which they used to download a whole heap of information on ET Earth-human contact, which I was then asked to write about.
Yes, we talk about your experience there in one of our earlier episodes.
Yes, I actually checked it out. That was in episode 73. Okay, age 49, 7-7, so that was a big one. A prediction had been given to me a couple of years previously that I'd be having another very significant, almost physical contact with the ETs. This happened at age 49 when I was called upon to help a family who suddenly started having very full-on ET contact in their home. This was my co-author Helen Kay's family, whose story is told in our book entitled The Zeta Message. Age 56, Helen's and my 2 books, The Zeta Message, along with Human by Day, Zeta by Night, which I'd started writing soon after the UK experience, were both accepted by Granite Publishing in America. To be accepted like this by a professional publishing company is huge and a very significant step in getting the information out to the world for my ET family. Age 63, in 2015, the publishing process began on my 3rd book, Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History. This book was born out of a meeting I attended in 2011 up on one of our ships when it was suggested that I write another book. I very slowly started putting some ideas together as I was still busy promoting the first 2 books, which involved quite a lot of work. Those who have never written a book have no idea of just how much work is required, and I wasn't all that keen to start on another one so soon.
Yes, lots of energy required for book writing.
That's for sure. Lots of patience and time as well. It took me about a year before I even started on it, and it wasn't an easy book to write or publish. Lucky for the ET family, I had Pam and Brian Chrissy from Granite Publishing pushing me along, and the formal job of editing and publishing began in 2015. It was released in 2018. So that's the history of my every 7th-year cycle. I've recently turned 70, the big 7-0, so I have to wonder what's in store for me this year.
So, wow, in light of all that, it would seem that we are in for an eventful year. Recently, your attention was drawn to a statement by Christopher Mellon. Can you talk a little bit about what that may mean for disclosure?
Yes, well, honest disclosure would be wonderful and would be a positive turning point for humanity. Problem is, this is the last thing that the planetary controllers want, so they're interfering where they can. Quite a number of these so-called UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, are from right here on Earth. The controllers working behind governments and the military are using them to create fear and as an excuse to place weapons in space. This is why they're made to appear threatening, buzzing planes, warships, etc. I've actually just finished reading an updated edition of a book entitled Raechel's Eyes about a supposed Zeta Reticulan hybrid who was rescued from a crashed ship and raised by a guy in the American military. It's so obviously MilAb, military abduction stuff, including the infamous men in black who were created right here on Earth from genetic material taken from genuine ETs who've died in crash ships. There's a picture of Raechel included, and I've never seen a Zeta who looks like her. She looks more reptoid. So I'd say the Earth-plane reptarians are deeply involved. As far as I can see, genuine disclosure is a personal thing that's already occurring for those who are awakening to 5D. 5D is all about embracing unconditional love as opposed to the divisiveness of the fear and ego that's behind all the racial and religious intolerance and discrimination that feeds the war machine on Earth. And this racial intolerance is very strong in the UFO community. My publisher dubbed it cosmic racism. That's the reason why the genuine ETs are very hesitant to come here openly. People have no concept of how hard the controllers are working to keep us dumbed down in 3D and afraid of anything beyond that. I just don't believe anything I read in any media, traditional or alternative. We really do need to just stand back and learn to think for ourselves.
Amen. So, Judy, you reminded me recently that we are all in this together, and you shared with me some really wise words that you will also share here. A very good reminder that, yes, indeed, we are all in this together.
Yes, my feeling is that the way to handle life down here is to be aware, but to just live your own life in the best and most spiritual way you can. Yes, people do need to be woken up and made aware of the level of brainwashing, which then enables them to make up their own mind as they have free will. This then also serves as a good test for ego, because too many of these so-called woke people do get caught up in the ego of imagining they're better than everyone else. We're all in this together. It reminds me of that teaching by Jesus on worrying about the splinter in your neighbour's eye, but ignoring the plank in your own eye. We just need to do the best we can on a personal level. That in turn will ripple out into the world and everything will balance out in the end through karma.
Yeah, for sure. Karma is the balancing factor in the universe. Everything will certainly balance out in the end. So if you'd like to read more about all of this, Judy's books are available from Amazon, or you can go through her website listed below. The first book in the Zeta series is
Human by Day, Zeta by Night, followed by The Zeta Message, then Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History, and my two most recent books, both Kindle editions and both also available in German, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective.
Thanks, Jude, and thanks everyone for listening. And if you liked this video, please share with your family and friends and subscribe to this channel. Sending you all so much love. Bye for now.